Good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's first Investor Day brought to you by BR Capital. Our title today is Exploring Yield Opportunities with BR Capital. So before we begin, we would like to do a disclaimer. Whatever we share in this presentation is only for educational purpose. So we are not giving any recommendation for you to buy or invest in any instruments. So anything said here shall not be construed as financial or investment advice. So before we begin, we just want to hand over the session to Ms. Kayan, who is a relationship manager of BR Capital to present. So without further ado, let's just welcome Ms. Kayan.
Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining our very first virtual Investor Day. My name is Kayan, and I am a Senior Relationship Manager of BR Capital. I will be your moderator for today. And with me in this webinar, we have Sebastian, Senior Relationship Manager of BR Capital. He will be the speaker of the webinar, whereby he will go through with you guys what BR Capital do and what we offer, and some latest update of BR Capital. Besides that, we also have a very special guest, Encik Ahmad Razlan, Group CEO of EP Manufacturing Berhad, with us today. He will be sharing his insights of the company's background and also the business expansion plan into the assembly plans of the EV cars. So after this webinar, if you have any feedback or suggestion, you're most welcome to send us an email at brcsupport@bursa.malaysia.com, or you can visit our website at brc.bursa.malaysia.com. Okay, so this is just a PSA. Beware of scams. As you know, scammers are everywhere nowadays. And then you can see here, people lost hundreds of thousands or even millions of ringgit to investment scam. So maybe I'll just share a little bit of ways that you can protect yourself and your money from being scammed. Okay, first you always invest in platforms that are regulated and registered by the SC. For example, you can visit Security Commission Malaysia's website. They have an investment checker where you can verify any platform or any entity that you want to invest. And for example, you can see here, we type BR Capital, and then the result shows that BR Capital is actually a registered and approved platform with the Security Commission Malaysia. So next, you can see here when we talk about yield-based investing opportunities, most of the investors commonly known FD, saving account, dividend stocks, bond sukuk, or REITs, or even unit trusts. But today we're going to talk about something very different, relatively new in the market, which is investment note. This kind of instruments allows you to enhance your portfolio returns with a lower entry cost. Without further ado, I'll pass it to Sebastian. He will go through with you who are we, BR Capital, and what we do and what we offer at the moment. Towards you, Sebastian.
Thank you so much, Kayan. First and foremost, a very good evening to all our valued investors and partners. Thank you all for joining us today at 7:30 p.m. 12th of September 2024. I would like to start off first with a bit of a background of the regulatory framework for recognized markets such as P2P financing, equity crowdfunding, and also digital asset exchanges. Recognized market operators, or RMO in short, are regulated by Securities Commission's guidelines on recognized markets, which outline the requirements and obligations of registered and approved RMOs. There are namely two categories of P2P platforms: Platforms such as BR Capital cater to small to mid-sized listed and unlisted companies that are looking to raise 5 million ringgit or more, while other platforms can cater to businesses that are raising anywhere between a few thousand to a few million ringgit. Next, please. Next, please. A bit of a background about BR Capital and our shareholders. In December 2022, BR Capital was established as a joint venture between Bursa Malaysia and RAM Group with the objective of enabling businesses and companies to access market-based financing to fund their projects or businesses and ultimately spur and promote the growth of the Malaysian economy. Bursa Malaysia was established in 1976 as a stock exchange holding company and has grown to a multi-asset exchange of various assets such as equities, gold, and derivatives. RAM Group was established in 1990 as Malaysia's first independent credit rating provider for bonds and sukuk issued by corporates, FIs, and non-bank FIs. The RAM Group is a leading provider of research and analytics, including macroeconomic and data, as well as trainings to all capital market players. The collaboration by the two very established and key capital market players aim to shape Malaysia's debt fundraising future. Next, please. In terms of key milestones that BR Capital has achieved so far, in June 2023, BR Capital received SE's approval in principle to manage and operate a new P2P platform. In December 2023, BR Capital launched the debt fundraising platform to facilitate listed and unlisted small to mid-sized companies to raise funds by issuing of credit-rated investment notes that are hosted on BR Capital platform. This also provides investors with the opportunity to diversify their portfolios with alternative fixed income instruments. In May 2023, the platform was open to retail investors to enhance financial inclusivity and contribute to the growth of Malaysia's capital market and the overall economy. In July 2024, BR Capital successfully closed its first issuance for an integrated operator of a self-operated coin laundry to expand in its number of outlets. In August 2024, BR Capital launched its second issuance, which is currently still ongoing, which we shall delve in shortly. So what exactly are investment notes? By definition, an investment note is an offer document evidencing a monetary loan executed or offered on or through an electronic platform to investors, where investors expect a financial return. In simpler terms, investment notes are essentially debt securities issued by businesses or companies offering investors a fixed financial return over a specified period. Now we shall delve into what are the key product highlights for investment notes hosted on BR Capital. BR Capital hosts Islamic and also conventional investment notes that yields an average of 5 to 10% per annum, average tenor of 1 to 3 years. It can come in the form of a guaranteed or perhaps even securitized. The minimum investment amount for all investors is one lot for 100 ringgit. Purpose for the investment note would be basically businesses or companies looking to raise funds for working capital or capital expenditure. BR Capital offers a very competitive fee structure. Investors would only need to pay a one-off platform management fee of 0.3% based on the investment amount of each campaign, or up to a maximum of 500 ringgit. This temporary capping of 500 ringgit maximum is valid until 31st December 2025 or until further notice. In terms of withdrawal fees, from the investors' wallets, whether it's in the form of interest or principal payment. Each withdrawal will only cost 1 ringgit. Now we should delve into the merits of investing in investment notes. Investment notes can potentially offer higher returns as compared to other traditional fixed income investments. Investment notes can also provide predictable and recurring income stream in the form of interest payments by the issuers. Investors can also diversify their portfolio and access direct investment opportunities through our online platform. Investors can also choose to support and invest in businesses that they're either familiar with or interested in certain themes such as environmental, sustainability, or technological innovation. So at BR Capital, we understand that investing is a significant decision, whether it's to build your family, setting up for your retirement, or protecting your earnings or savings against inflation. At BR Capital, we are committed to providing investors with the confidence you need to invest through our platform. So let me walk you through on how we achieve this. To determine the suitability of issuers hosted on our platform, BR Capital conducts background checks on prospective issuers to ensure its fit and properness. We also verify and assess its business proposition, whether it's on their existing business or their future expansion plans, to determine the company's credit worthiness. Only locally registered businesses such as private limited, unlisted public companies, public listed companies, and their subsidiaries are eligible to host investment notes on our platform. RAM Ratings will conduct credit assessment that combines a structured analytical process with their expert evaluation. Depending on the readiness of the issuer and availability of information, an ESG evaluation on the issuer might be conducted. The interest rates or profit rate offered on the investment notes are determined by various factors, including credit rating of the issuer, pricing guidance by BPAM or Bond Pricing Agency Malaysia in full, and also prevailing market-related factors. BR Capital also emphasizes on transparency and disclosures by issuers to foster trust, enhancing credibility and reducing uncertainties between the companies that are raising funds and our investors. Next please. Investors may refer to the investment note fact sheet for details about the issuer, profile of directors and management, business plan, guarantor, as well as key risks of the business. Other key information about the investment notes such as total fundraise amount, credit rating, tenure, interest or profit rate, utilization of the proceeds from the fundraise, credit rating, as well as terms and conditions of the investment notes, including covenants that the issuer would have to adhere by, would be on the investment note fact sheet to all registered investors. In terms of the credit rating report prepared by RAM Ratings, the report would showcase the company's strengths and risk, business, and also financial profile. The credit assessment combines a structured analytical process whereby it will delve into the issuer's industry, business, and operating risk, alongside with data, historical data, and projected performance and trends. The credit assessment will be updated for at least once a year or more frequent, depending on significant events or material changes. Before, please. RAM Ratings is a leading and largest credit rating agency in Malaysia and Southeast Asia. Renowned for their independent and insightful views, their credit ratings and assessments are highly regarded in both the domestic and regional markets and are used by investors and market participants to make sound decisions. In terms of processes, an issuer would need to submit information such as financial statements, business plan, management background and experience, as well as operational data for credit assessment. RAM would also meet the issuer's management to further understand the qualitative and quantitative data shared across, as well as understand the management's perspective on the industry and landscape. The issuer's industry, business, and operating risk would be considered alongside historical and also projected performance and trends over a time period. RAM ratings would assign a credit rating for the investment note which indicates the overall capacity and willingness of the issuer to meet its financial obligations on the investment note in a full and timely manner, taking into account its express terms and conditions, including any forms of credit enhancements such as guarantee or securities. The credit rating scale for investment notes hosted on BR Capital comprises of 9 grades, from R1 being the strongest or lowest risk to R9 being the weakest or the highest risk. The credit ratings assigned by RAM ratings are objective and impartial in opinion on the creditworthiness of the issuer. In general, upon understanding and analyzing the information disclosed by issuers concerning about its business, financing purpose, and financial information, credit assessment, repayment schedule, and risk information are published on our platform, whereby investors can then make an informed decisions on whether to invest on the issuer or investment note. Now, next please. So BR Capital has so far listed 2 issuances. The first issuance was listed in July, whereby Citycoin Technology Berhad raised 5 million from institutional, corporate, and individual investors for capex, including renovation costs of new outlets, purchase of outlet equipment, purchase of laundry equipment, as well as funding its general working capital. Our current campaign is for a subsidiary of a main market listed company. The investment note is rated R3 by RAM, which indicates adequate safety for payment of its financial obligations on the investment note. So here are the key terms of the investment note. Our current issuer is actually PEPS JV Malacca Sendirian Berhad. It is a subsidiary, an important subsidiary of EP Manufacturing Berhad, which is listed on Bursa Malaysia's main market. The company is issuing an investment note with an amount of 5 million to part finance its capital expenditure for the development of its Phase 1 CKD manufacturing and vehicle assembly facility in Malacca, as well as to fund its general working capital in relation to the vehicle assembly contracts between itself, between PEPS JV Malacca with Great Wall Motor Sales Malaysia and also BAIC. The investment note comes with a corporate guarantee from EP Manufacturing Berhad. Like I mentioned, the credit rating is R3, which indicates adequate safety for its payment of financial obligations under the investment note. The tenure of this investment note is 3 years and yields 7% per annum, whereby the profit payment would actually be paid semi-annually. The campaign close date would be on the 9th of October 2024 or upon full subscription, whichever earlier. So now I would like to invite Encik Razlan, who is the Group CEO of EP Manufacturing Berhad, to present a little bit about the background of the group, its business expansion plan, as well as the automotive industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Sebastian, and fellow colleagues from BR Capital, as well as potential investors. Good evening. My name is Razlan, and I'm currently the Group CEO of EPMB. As you can see from the slide, EPMB, we started way back in 1982, and after that, in 1994, we started to get involved in the automotive parts manufacturing, and eventually in 1997, it was listed in KLSC back then. In general, we are a supplier of tier 1 supplier of chassis component, vehicle body part, modular parts, safety and critical components for the automotive industry in Malaysia. We basically supply the components to national car makers such as Proton and Produa, and other non-national car makers like Honda, Mazda, Toyota, and Kia. Currently, we have 5 manufacturing facilities, one in Sungai Petani, that's producing for Mazda, and then we have another one in Batangkali. We have a big stamping machine in Batangkali whereby we produce stamping parts for Produa and also for Proton. And then we have just set up and completed and started operation in October last year, the seat manufacturing facility in Tanjung Malim. And then in our factory and headquarters in Glenmarie, we have another facility. And then in Malacca, we have a facility that is producing for Honda. And we are expanding our 42 acres of land. We have over 42 acres of land in Alor Gajah, Melaka, whereby the manufacturing facility that's producing for Honda, and we are expanding that area to be the manufacturing hub for the assembly of cars. Currently, we have about 1,200 employees, and in 2020, we diversified into car assembly, catering for EV, EEV, and also EEV, and as well as we acquire a company based in Kota Kinabalu with about 50 acres of land in Kota Kinabalu. So all this, normally all the factories, there's one subsidiary will be responsible for each of the manufacturing facilities. Next slide, please. As I mentioned just now, these are the existing and new business segment. PEPS JV Kedah, situated in Sungai Petani Kedah, where we produce for what do you call that, Mazda, and then Tanjung Malim Perak, the seat facility, and then Batangkali, Shah Alam, and also Pegoh in Melaka. Traditionally, we supply to the customers mainly for Proton and Produa, which covers about 66% of our annual revenue. And then we have Honda in Melaka, which supply or consists of 16%, over 16% of our annual revenue. And then Mazda in Kedah, Sungai Petani Kedah, contributed about 15% of our annual revenue. And the new segment, contract assembler, we have signed the assembly agreement with Great Wall Motor for 8 years, and then with BAIC for 10 years. Can we move on? Next one. These are the components that we produce for our customers. If you can see there, for Proton, for example, we do in-house stamping, assembly, and coating items like subframe front suspension, rear axle module, fuel tank module, rear corner module, and front corner module, as well as dash panel. For Produa, we produce assembly and coating for cross-member front suspension, reinforcement front pillar, panel quarter, and a few others sub-assembly center body pillar, such as reinforcement sub-assembly lower front pillar. And basically, if you look at the components of the car, we cover most of the components of car. Yeah. Can we move to the next one? Yeah, this is just an artist's impression of the new assembly, new vehicle assembly plant in Pegoh, Melaka. Basically, phase 1 of the project is almost completion. We're supposed to start our production SOP this month in September. whereby we are going to produce one model for Great Wall Motor, which is the Haval H6. If you notice in the market now, Great Wall Motor has started the soft launch of the model and started to basically advertise for this model. And this model is going to be assembled at our factory in Malacca. Next. Yeah, that's about it. Briefly about EPMB. Basically, if I can explain the strategy of the company in a nutshell, basically, all this while over 40 years, we have been the manufacturer of components, parts for local car OEMs, Protons, Produa, Honda, Mazda. Small portion for import of accessories for Toyota. Over 40 years, and our core competencies and our bread and butter has always been in car components manufacturing. However, way back in 2022, we decided to pivot a bit and basically ventured into car assembly. But our strategy has always been to strengthen the current business that we have, our bread and butter, and gradually develop our competencies in the area of car assemblies. We hope by combining these two business segments, we would be able to improve our bottom line, increase our profit margins, and so on. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Encik Ahmad Razlan, for your sharing. Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. So in this segment, I will share with you guys what is the step-by-step guide if you wish to register yourself as a BR Capital investor. So if you want to register with us, you have to visit our website. This is the link. This is the link, brc.bursa.malaysia.com/investor. So when you're on the website, you have to click on invest, then you'll be direct to the page whereby you will need to select whether you are investor or issuer. So if you want to register with us as an investor, you have to click investor. So after that, you will be prompted to read and understand the eligibility criteria and also click continue after you have read it. Then after that, for investor type, if you are individual investor, you have to select individual. If you are if you want to register yourself as a corporate investor, then you have to select entity. Next, after you have select the type of investor, you will need to create your own username and password, fill up your phone number. After that, you will need to continue. Then 6-digit, what we call a code, will send to your registered email, and then you will need to key in with your unique key in this page. So after you have successfully verified your email, you need to log into your account with your registered username or email and key in your password. Then you'll be directed to this page where you need to fill out all your personal details like full name, your IC number, your source of fund, and then also your risk appetite. Then after that, you have to click continue. Then you need to go through all the terms and conditions. After that, you need to click submit. So after you have submit, you will need to do an identity verification whereby you need to fill up your residential address. If your residential address is differ from your IC, you need to upload your supporting documents like your utility bills here at this box. Then after that, you will need to use your mobile phone to scan the QR code to perform what we call it, EKYC. So if after this session, if you guys are interested to invest, I will also show you through how to navigate through the portal. Okay, so this is just a general reminder. All the subscription will be on first come first basis. There's no oversubscription. There's no balloting. Okay, how to invest? You will need to go to you need to log into your investor account after you have complete your eKYC. Then this is you will see the screen. Then you will need to select. You will be able to see pre-live or even ongoing live campaign. Okay, for example, this is Project Everest previously on pre-live. If on a pre-live campaign that you wish to register your interest before the campaign go live, you actually need to go and register your interest. Before that, you need to go through the investment note fact sheet, the credit rating report issued by RAM, and also the latest audited financial statement of the issuer. Then this is on the pre-live campaign basis. So you need to register your interest. Then after that, you will have to allocate the lot amount that you want. Then you confirm. After you have pre-registered your interest, you will actually receive an email notification. So for you to invest in those live campaign, what we need to do is you need to first top up your wallet. So here in your page, you will need to select wallet. Then step 2 will be click on the reload button. And also just a general reminder, when you reload your wallet, please top up an amount which is sufficient to pay the subscription price and also the platform management fee. For example, if you want to subscribe 100 ringgit and our platform management fee is 0.3%, which is 30 cents, which means you have to top up the 30 cents as well lah. Okay, so we have two methods to top up your wallet. One is Do It Now, one is IBG. So for Do It Now, you need to select Do It Now and then click on Reload Now button. Then of course you need to select the list of banks that we have on our website, then click on Transfer. Then you'll be redirected to the bank online homepage and perform the transaction. So after you have completed your transfer, the top up will be reflected within a couple of minutes. And then if you are using IBG, you need to select IBG transfer and then click on reload. Then of course, you need to upload your remittance slip after you have made a transfer via online banking. Then top up will be reflected in your wallet upon our verification within 3 working days. So this is to subscribe to live campaign. Click on campaign and you will find the status that is green, which is live. Then you click on it. If you want to subscribe, you click on the subscribe button on the right side. Then insert the amount that you wish to subscribe and then also confirm your subscription. So general reminder, subscription must be in a multiple of 100 ringgit. After that, you click on the confirm button. Then after that, on my subscription page, you will be able to see all your subscription summary. Okay, so final thoughts. I want to share to all the participants today. As an investor, you shouldn't put all your egg in one basket. Diversify is very important. And also be realistic. Higher returns, of course, come with a set of higher risks. And then before you do any informed decision, always do your own research, due diligence of the issuer and the company. We have the credit risk rating report and the fact sheet of the issuer being uploaded in our website. Understand the risk and also, understand the risk. And then lastly, like I share with you guys, investment scams are everywhere. So be careful when you want to invest online, especially in investment platform. Invest with regulated platform, and then you can go to SC website or even use the investment checker to search any entities or any platform or website that you want to invest, and always be skeptical and always stay vigilant. Thank you so much. I think if you have any question or you want to know more, you can visit our website, brc.bursa.malaysia.com, or scan the QR code. And then if you have any concern you want to ask us directly, please drop us an email at brcsupport@bursa.malaysia.com. So now we have a Q&A session.
Yep. Maybe perhaps we start off with the questions raised regarding the current campaign. One of the questions that our attendees ask is towards Encik Razlan. Encik Razlan, if you don't mind sharing your perspective on the local automotive industry in Malaysia.
Generally speaking, I think a lot of analysts and also quite a number of automotive association are expecting growth for this year in terms of total industry volume. However, the quantum of the growth is still very much everyone's guess. But if you look at last year, we are the only country in ASEAN that experienced growth, close to 700,000 TIV for automotive. So for a company like EPMB, for example, we benefited a lot from the growth in the TIV. And I think there is also a question in regard to the quarterly performance of EPMB in the chatbot. If I can touch on that also, basically, if you look at the first 2 quarter performance, we are actually performing slightly better than last year. Current year quarter ended June 30th June 2024. We recorded revenue of 145 million, 55.1% higher than the previous year. This is the quarterly. This is because of the higher volume that we expect. Although when we compare quarter to quarter, quarter 1 and quarter 2, quarter 1 is slightly lower because normally there are car sales, during the festive season, Hari Raya and everything will increase. So that's the trend. And also in terms of what do you call that, expectation, we are on track at the moment to achieve similar growth or similar revenue as per last year, looking at the first 2 quarters for the company. Second question that was raised in the chatbot is that our estimated investment for our CKD plant in Melaka is around over 100 million. And basically, it will be financed by the private placement as well as the fundraising like the one that we are doing here. And also we have internally generated fund to cover for the capex as well as the operating expenses for the CKD plant. So it is our vision that we complete our phase 1 and we start to roll out the cars, assemble cars for Great Wall Motors and eventually for BAIC. For Great Wall Motor, there are 2 models that has been mentioned in the contract. Number 1 is Haval H6 and number 2 is Haval Jolian. And then for BAIC, X55 and also BJ40. Our phase 1 facility in Melaka can produce up to 6,000 per year on single shift and 12,000 per year for if it's done in double shift. So once we completed the manufacturing hub in Malacca, for all the phases, capacity can go up to 30,000 per annum. So we are looking ahead that for the growth of automotive sector in Malaysia is quite bright. Having a lot of OEMs from China, especially having trust in our ecosystem, automotive ecosystem in Malaysia, being very friendly towards China, as well as having the skill set and experience in automotive sector. So we look forward to better growth in automotive sector this year, and hopefully with the growth of this TIV and so on, naturally a company like EPMB will benefit. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Encik Razlan. There's also a question regarding whether EPMB will actually sell those vehicles assembled in Malacca for Great Wall, so BAIC.
Yeah, good question. I think this is a very common question that we already receive. We are automotive components manufacturer and basically contract manufacturer. We are not in distribution. Distribution has never been our forte. We don't have the skill set, the competencies, and also we are not. We don't plan to incur a lot of resources in the distribution. It is a totally different animal altogether. So we will focus on what we do best, and we let the rest, the distribution, those people who are those business that are familiar, that are experienced in distribution, to do the distribution part. But basically, the contract, in our contract, it is specified the forecast given to us, and there is also a mechanism whereby we can discuss and negotiate with the OEMs in the event that such forecast is not met. So that's how the industry is structured. So it's quite, I would say, yes, there are risks involved, but it's also there are some mitigating factors that we can take, we can do. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Encik Razlan. Yep, over to you, Kayan.
There is a question, any investment income tax exemption on investment note?
Yep. So for now, yes, any interest income received are actually taxed. Until further notice.
There is a question, how long does it take to withdraw the money from the wallet to the bank? I think you're muted, Sebastian.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So typically, investors can actually withdraw from their wallet within 3 business days.
Okay, there's one question. Why do company issue investment note rather than direct borrowing from the bank?
Ultimately, a lot of issuers that we are looking at, they come to us because they want to broaden their investors base. In EPMB's case or Project Everest's case, it was a mix between self-funded private placement and also raising debt through BR Capital. If you don't mind, Encik Razlan, if I can pass it on to you, maybe you can maybe perhaps expand a bit in the case of EPMB for raising funds through BR Capital.
Yeah, that's. I think I echo what Sebastian said, and in fact, those are the reason why we come forward and use this platform. It is also about timing, and it is also about how we managing our balance sheet and our risk, basically. So we try to explore various form of financing, and we don't want to rely on just one source of financing. And when we met BR Capital and we discussed, yes, it is one of the what you call source of financing that we find it very interesting, and we also give the opportunity to investors to basically invest directly rather than having an intermediary, for example. And I think this is a very interesting. Personally, I find it is a very interesting method and interesting platform for fundraising. So I think those are things that among the factors that we consider when we decided to basically use VR Capital in the platform as one of our source of funding.
Thank you so much, Encik Razlan. There is also a question from attendees regarding the risk involved by investing in BR Capital's platform. BR Capital is essentially a digital fundraising and credit investing platform. All investment notes hosted on BR Capital has its own inherent risk. Investors are advised, I would like to echo what my colleague Kaya mentioned. All investors are encouraged and advised to read all disclosure documents, including the fact sheet, credit rating report, to essentially evaluate the risk and merits of the individual investment notes prior to their subscription. Investors are also advised to seek advice from professionals prior to investing in our investment notes on BR Capital.
There is one question. Do you have any guaranteed investment note?
So for now, we don't. Maybe take an instance of Project Everest. The issuer being PEPS JV Malacca is a subsidiary of EP Manufacturing Berhad. The investment note is actually issued by the subsidiary, and it's guaranteed by its ultimate holding company, which is EP Manufacturing Berhad.
Okay, there's another question. If not fully subscribed, would it cancel automatically or will still proceed with existing subscription?
So for any campaign to be considered successful, it needs to reach the 80% threshold within the campaign period. If it achieves full subscription before the campaign period, it will be deemed successful earlier. If the subscription falls below 80%, then the campaign will be deemed as unsuccessful, and all subscription or committed amount would be actually released to back to the investors.
Okay, one more. What is the process in the event of a default?
Yeah. So upon an occurrence of an event of default, BR Capital as the platform operator may, in our absolute discretion, immediately declare an event of default has been occurred, and all outstanding amount under the investment note will immediately be due and payable in a single lump sum, and it will be called upon to investors for voting for the next recovery, next action, ultimately a recovery action. So it would also require the issuer to provide its proposal to restructure the amount due within 30 days from the date of the platform's request. Upon receipt and evaluation of the restructuring proposal from the issuer, if the platform is of the opinion that the proposal is viable, we may call upon the investors to vote on the restructuring and recovery action. If the issuer fails to provide a restructuring proposal within 30 days from the date of our request, we would deem as the proposal as non-viable and ultimately we will call investors to vote for the next action.
Okay, there is a question from the attendees. Does the interest already deduct tax?
Yep. So like I mentioned earlier, any interest or profit payments from the issuers are deemed as taxable income. For Malaysia tax residents, investors are responsible to declare your respective income and pay the applicable tax to the authorities. For non-Malaysian tax residents, investors are liable to pay a 15% withholding tax on your investment income. The withholding tax will be automatically deducted from your investment income by the buyers.
There's another question. Is the rate of return stated guaranteed?
No. So ultimately, investment notes are a form of commitment document, an evidentiary document by the issuer to commit to pay the interest or profit payment stated on the note. As all investors should be aware, if in the event that the issuer fails to meet its obligation under the investment note, it will be deemed as an event of default, and the next steps of recovery actions will take place.
Okay, there's one more question. As an investor, should we invest directly into Listco shares or in the note? Post-tax, the return may be less attractive versus holding equity. What is your perspective?
So as Shane mentioned at the start of the video, we cannot advise. We however do recommend all investors to seek professional advice before committing to any investment.
Okay, and another one is, how much is the tax charge from the interest?
So like I mentioned earlier, it depends on the individual or corporate's respective tax threshold. It's best for the respective investors to actually seek tax advice from professionals.
Another question is, do you have any upcoming subscription?
We are working on a few in the pipeline. We will update our investors through our online platform as and when there are any upcoming issuances.
It's okay. I think there's no more question. Thank you, Encik Razlan, for joining us today. And also thank you, the attendees, for taking your time after work to join this webinar. I'm sure that we will have more webinar like this where we are able to connect the investor to the issuer lah. And if you have any concern or anything you want to ask us, feel free to write us. Drop us an email at our official brc.usamalaysia.com, or you can visit our website. Thank you so much and good night.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.